sugar, spice, and everything nice. These were the ingredients to make the perfect little game. But Professor Ubisoft accidentally added an extra ingredient to the concoction. Chemical EA. Thus the microtransactions were born! Using their ultra-evil powers, loot box, season pass, and game currency have dedicated their lives to making games crap and the forces of good! Guys, look, you know when we said Fallout 76, Ghost Recon 76? It would never happen. Everybody, it's happened. It's official. They are now officially Ghost Recon 76. Now, do you guys know what it really takes to earn the title of 76?
Wait, it's my line now? You can't just make one screw up to be a 76. You can't make 5, not 10 screw ups. Some games go their entire lives trying to be a 76 and they never get there. But some games do. Anthem, Wolfenstein Youngblood, Mario Kart Tour. These games have all reached the status of 76 and we're proud of them. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome a new game into those hallowed ranks. We give you Ghost Recon BrEaKpOiNt 76.
Woo! Okay, guys, I didn't think it would be back. You know what? Fuck it. I knew it would be back, okay? It's Ghost Recon, it's meme point now,
That's right.
Okay?
It's a meme
Ghost
point.
Recon meme point 76.
That's right.
Okay, we're back again with more memes.
EA Games.
You're such a bad person. Like, all the way through to your core.
You demand it, we supply. Ladies and gentlemen, this is BrEaKpOiNt 76 at this point. It started with the beta, which happened last week, of course, because, you know, what great product these days, what great AAA game doesn't have a beta that happens 1 week before release?
Of course.
Standard stuff.
Yeah.
The beta was a little bit problematic.
Not great.
Yeah, not great at
Not
all.
great. On all accounts, really.
Hey, you get down the fiddle and you get down the bow. Kick off your shoes and you throw them on the floor. Dance in the kitchen till the morning light.
So he's an idiot.
It really was a bit of a disaster. The vast majority of people that were playing it were like, this blows. Like, pretty much, I reckon 80%. There were 20% of people that were like, this is cool, I love it, man. It's the best game ever.
So
I'm
it's going
like,
to be the diehard fans.
What are you talking about, you know?
Yeah.
But I think most people that play this are like, this is boring as shit, it's super buggy, and oh my god, the microtransaction storm is incoming. And like, literally in my preview, I'm like, guys, this entire thing is set up to be a microtransaction platform. The reason this game exists is to sell microtransactions. That is the reason it is put on this planet.
Who was right?
Who was right?
Sadly, him. Nothing's worse than when Ralph is right, because you'll never hear the end of it.
That's very
okay?
true. That's very true.
How did you know?
I'm a big four-eyed lame-o, and I wear the same stupid sweater every day.
So despite the warnings, some people still chose to buy BrEaKpOiNt 76. Don't understand why. All power to you. Everyone
No
does what they
power
want.
to you,
Everyone does what
okay?
they want with their own money.
No, terrible.
They bought it, and surprise, surprise, the launch didn't go particularly well. Turns out that, and this we knew before, but really it just was interesting to see how it manifests on launch day. This is an always online title. And that means that, you know, you can't play it at all when you're offline. You need to be connected to the servers the entire time. Even when you're playing single player, you still need to be connected to the servers. And if those servers go down while you're halfway through your mission, you lose all your progress.
I mean, I can't think of a more single player game that you just want to play by yourself,
Yes.
but then you've got to be online, like Bethesda did with the Doom on Switch or other games that do that. It always is bad news for them, but of course it folds in again to making sure you're online, so you're always only one click away from the microtransaction store.
Would you please stop bothering my kid?
Could you imagine
That's what it's all about.
if you were like halfway through clearing the water temple in Ocarina of Time, and then it like, servers disconnect. Imagine how pissed off. I still can't figure out the water temple like 20
Still
years
there,
later.
man.
If I have to do it again because of fucking server disconnect, that's
Yeah.
it. I'm throwing
Still
out my
there.
I'm throwing out my Nintendo, right?
But apart from having to be online all the time, it was buggy. The AI sucks,
Oh my
okay?
God,
And
so
it's
bad.
generally unfinished. It's an unfinished product on all fronts. And for them to bring out the beta, like literally, well, a demo really, let's be real, a week before the actual game's release, it's always a red flag. It means that they don't want to show anything right up to the last moment.
One of the great things about these betas as well is they always have the microtransaction stores disabled because they never really want to let you know what's going on with that.
I wonder why they would do that.
Now,
it's so crazy.
They did turn on the microtransactions on launch day, and they were exactly as bad as
worse.
people predicted.
Worse.
I mean, yeah, they probably were worse, I'd say.
Yeah.
I honestly was expecting it to be atrocious, but this is the most monetized AAA game in the history of video games. We've said that before.
Do you have any special talents?
Every single thing that you can get in this game, that you can obtain as a character, you can purchase it with real world money. Like every single thing. That's blueprints, that's weapons, that's
skins.
Gear, skins for guns, that's like crafting materials, that's actual experience points and skill points. All of them were purchasable on the cash shop. This game has no shop.
I reckon they'll also charge you to uninstall. Like, honestly, I would pay $100 to uninstall this game.
Sounds like a bargain, to be
If
honest.
I have to do it, I have to do it. So it's been universally crucified by, like, everybody that has touched this game. Okay, apart from the hardcore fans, most people, 99% of people think this is the worst game that they've ever produced, okay? Now, Ubisoft has now come out and responded to that. They've recently now come out and said, guys, you know this whole XP booster and this whole skill booster that was in the game? That was an accident. We didn't mean for that to be in there.
You can't. You have to see it. Let's just read the quote because it's unbelievable. Speaking to PC Games N, they said this: "We are aware that during the early access of Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon BrEaKpOiNt on October 1, some time saver items, skill point bundles, XP boosters, and parts bundles for advanced weapon upgrades were available for purchase for a few hours in our store, but this was not our intention, and it was an error on our behalf. These items were designed as an optional way for players arriving later to the game post-launch to catch up with those who have been playing for longer and enjoy our co-op and challenging endgame experiences. These time savers have since been removed from our store for now."
For now.
One
One quick question, because I know that you probably know the answer to this. Now, did they have in Assassin's Creed Odyssey those at the start?
Yes.
Bullshit, I call bullshit.
This is the most bullshit thing I've ever heard. As if Ubisoft did not mean to have these live. Like, they did exactly the same thing with Odyssey, and everyone hated them for it. They did the exact same thing, and now they're going to say, oh, actually, for this other game, which is even more monetized, this was a mistake, guys. We didn't mean to have this.
I mean, like, it's one thing, I think, to come out and be like, you know, guys, we fucked up. We've heard the community, and we know that everyone hates this. We're going to take these out.
Yep.
It's another thing to see this gross, like, they're in the game? Oops, let me just take them. No, oh my god, what's happening to Ubisoft?
That's crazy.
It's one thing to become like a monetization, microtransaction hellhole. It's another one to just become this gross, like icky, slimy, lying company.
Yes, I agree.
That they're clearly going down the route. Like, they're just like, EA would be proud. You know?
It's like, I taught you well, son.
Comes to 1-year-old Dante. Pierre, you are the father.
Obviously, this is rubbish, but regardless, they've made very clear that those time savers will return. They have been developed, they have been implemented, and they plan to bring them back. And the question becomes very simple: why would you want to pay to skip a game that you've purchased? Like, how bad and shitty is your game that you would want to honestly, like, that players will want to pay money to not experience it? It's a core question you have to ask whenever these time savers are implemented.
And whenever they're in here, you know there's a hell of a lot of grind. You know, like, they're
100%.
not there unless they need to be purchased because you're just, like, worked to the bone by, like, trying to level up in this crappy game. It's never because they want you to, like, catch up to people or people that are time poor. It's like they've designed the game to piss you off. Just remember that.
So the flow and impact of this have obviously been huge when it comes to review scores and user critic scores on Metacritic. We can look at some of the reviews here first. VG247 says, "I really wanted to like BrEaKpOiNt. Ubisoft has a habit of making mediocre games. Assassin's Creed Watch Dogs really shine with a sequel, but this is a significant step back. I would rather play Anthem. At least traversal doesn't make me want to put my head through a window in that game." He gave it 20. Jim Sterling actually said the same thing. He'd rather play Anthem than this game.
Ouch.
I would honestly rather play Anthem than this game as well.
But
This
would you
game
rather play
is-
76? That's the whole other
Yeah, I would rather play Fallout than this. This is so boring. Like, those games were broken and bad and boring, but this is just so mind-numbingly boring. Like, it's such a boring game. The total critic score breaks down to 56 critic score and a 2.7 user score.
And 2.2 is on PC, which is even
2.2 on
worse
PC as well. So
for user
people
score.
hate this game. And it really does have very big flow-on impacts. Like, I think this is what we came back to earlier, which is to say that, Bethesda's brand collapsed so rapidly over the space of the year, with Fallout 76, following up with Wolfenstein Youngblood, very average Rage 2, a very strong focus on monetization in all of those games, no matter what. Bethesda's brand is like it's just beyond repair at this point.
At the moment,
everyone hates that company.
Yeah, I reckon it's going to take a good 10 years of solid games from Bethesda for people like, what happened? What do you mean Fallout 76? Like, it needs a long time before they forget that. I think the big difference for me, at least, with Fallout 76, it was a broken, buggy Frankenstein of a game, but it didn't feel like it was like this heavy microtransaction hellhole. It was more like it was just a disaster of a game, buggy wise.
That's true.
Where this actually just feels like it's from the ground up built to just milk people that love their franchise, and it's just evil. It's like it's more evil in my opinion than what Fallout 76 did.
Same thing with Anthem. Like, Anthem was not actually a monetized game. Like, it had some monetization in there, but they bungled the game so badly they couldn't actually implement successful monetization practices, and now the game's just kind of like been put out to stud, so it's like whatever.
Definitely.
Man, they're not even going to bother.
Yeah.
So this is far more predatory than Anthem or Fallout 76.
So I mean, we love to meme it up all we want, but like I actually think this is more of a vicious game to the consumer than those games are. And like, I mean, Siege, the new Siege coming out in terms of that co-op experience, or the Watch Dogs, or there's going to be so many games now that people were excited for, but now they're going to be like, whoa, I got to put a different lens on for this. Am I going to know, like, how bad is this going to be monetization-wise? The whole conversation with Ubisoft, I think, has fundamentally changed only in the last few weeks. I mean, even with Assassin's Creed, people weren't huge fans of the XP booster, but all in all, they felt like it was a big, polished product. Like, it was there. With this, it's like a whole other level.
I agree. I'm almost certain that right now there's some crisis meetings happening at Ubisoft HQ, being like, what the hell do we do about this? I'm certain that Watch Dogs would have had the same DNA running through it, and I'm certain they're going to have to do a bit of a pivot on that. The same way that EA had to pivot after Star Wars Battlefront 2 and really change their strategy. I mean, and to be fair, they did. Like, that Star Wars Battlefront 2 is a pretty great product now if you go back and play it, and monetization-wise, very fair. Like, good job on them for doing that.
Good job, EA.
Good job, EA.
No, I know what you mean, but like the bottom line is most people never return to it, and that's the problem there. Like, it might be a fantastic product, but the stain that you leave on that game for most people, it will never leave.
So we'll see what Ubisoft does with Watch Dogs, with Quarantine, with all of their other games they've got coming out. But it definitely is a very different conversation now. And, rightfully so. They deserve this. When they put out a product like this that is this bad, this boring, and this predatory, then they get what they deserve.
Oh, God, oh my God, I just realized something. From now on, it shouldn't be called 76 if it's a bad game. If it's a bad game, it now should end with BrEaKpOiNt.
Oh, man.
Holy shit.
We can't give up 76.
Holy shit.
It's too special, man.
Maybe
it means
76
too much to us.
BrEaKpOiNt.
No, it's
BrEaKpOiNt 76. Guys, I'm on something.
Breakdance 76.
Breakdance 76. We'll figure it out. Ubisoft Just Dance. That's what it's going to be.
It is.
Ubisoft Just Dance 76.
Love it.
We'll go back to the drone board, but we'll tell you how it goes. Bye.